guys, it's Frosting, and I'd like to welcome you all to a video I've been wanting to make for a while now, my thoughts on the Cucumber Quest, aka my favorite graphic novel series of all time. I love it so much. I read it in print form rather than webcomic form, and I have read all 4 books 15 gajillion times, and I love them. So, let's get into talking about it. I am going to try not to ramble too much. This is my, 3rd attempt at filming this because I've caught myself forgetting how to speak English and rambling way too much about one random specific thing. So, we're just going to get into it and try to stay focused. I think I'm just a little bit too excited to film this one today, so my brain is scattered and everywhere. So that is a fair warning. Let's see if we can do this. First, before we do anything, I'd like to mention that none of the artwork or images belong to me. All credit goes to GGDG. I figured if I put it in the video, I would remember to put it in the description, because I forget to do anything with the descriptions in all of my videos half the time, so I thought I'd remember. All of the artwork belongs to them. The only thing that doesn't is the background I used on the slides. This cool little colorful gradient I got going on. I did that, but that's it. Everything else is theirs. Yay. This also contains spoilers for the books. Spoilers for everything except for anything involving the Crystal Kingdom, because I haven't read that part yet, because I didn't know it existed until after not that long ago. So, we'll get to that in a minute, but this does contain spoilers, so if you don't... See, here we go again. I forgot how to speak English for a second there. Anyway, if you haven't read it yet, and you want to, go read it, and then come back. Did you read it yet? You're back? Yay! We can continue now. Alright. First, or not first, I guess, but very first, minor point of the video that I'd like to go ahead and mention is just thank you to GGGG for making this. I absolutely love the art style. I'm super duper excited to read their other stuff that they made, because, spoiler alert, they made other things, and we'll get to that in a minute. But they made things, and I fucking love them, just for existing in general. And I hope that someday they come back to the Cucumber Quest and actually make a print version of Chapter 4. That'd be great, aka will be Book 5. If they could make that, that would be amazing. Or even if they just stick to it being a webcomic, even if they just make Book 6, Chapter 5, that would be cool too. But, nevertheless, thank you so much. I like the fact that you exist. And if GDDG didn't exist, neither would these books. And I wouldn't be sitting here filming that video right now. So, thank you once again. Alright. How I found Cucumber Quest. I found it in my school library when I was 15. I'm not that far off from being 18 now. I think this video is going to upload sometime in March. I'm filming in February, but it'll upload sometime in March, so it's a month away from my birthday as of uploading, which is pretty cool. But I'm not that far off from being 18, and so I think that's 15, 16, 17, 18. It's 3 or 4 years now of being a fan of these books, and I'm very, very glad that they exist. And I don't think if it wasn't for my school library, I wouldn't have found them in the first place. And I was going to take a cute little picture of where they were in my school library, just to kind of show you guys, hey, look, there they are. But they weren't in there, because somebody else had them checked out when I went to go do that. So instead, you get a circle with sad other non-Cucumber Quest books over there. Yay. And then I just added this picture, just because it's more sections of the graphic novel section in the school. And I thought you guys would want to see that. But there they are. Libraries are the best. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have found it. So I'm eternally grateful to my school and also the librarian. I don't know if the librarian makes those decisions on what's put in there or not, but you get my point. Anyway, I'm very thankful that I get to be a part of this little mini fandom. And hopefully this video will expand the fandom and get more people interested. So you guys should totally read it. Yay, it's free. Unless, of course, you like paper or want to buy a book, then that's not free. You gotta pay for that, but yay! Alright, before we talk about the Cucumber Quest any more than we already have, I want to mention the other things that they have made that I'm very interested in reading / playing because they made a visual novel. First up we have Lady of the Shard, which is a comic book, webcomic, graphic novel thingy that they made on some kind of website. I know nothing about it. I read the brief description, and that is it. I'm going to go in completely blind when I go to read that. But the art style looks amazing. And it's a contrast compared to the Cucumber Quest in terms of, like, colors and the way everything is drawn. And Cucumber Quest is a lot more, like, chibi compared to this. And I'm interested to see how that other art style plays out in this book. Speaking of other graphic novels and differences in art style, they also made The Idle Divination, which I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right, but I could be wrong. I'm excited to read that one too. Once again, I know absolutely nothing about it, but I'm very excited to read that. And eventually, when I get some free time for once, I will go read it. But in the meantime, some of us are busy. But the art style also looks really cool, especially this thing over here. I don't know what it is, but it looks cool. And this one's also free on their website. I should mention there's a website where both of these are, and both of them are free to go read, which is amazing because I like free books. And I will put the link to that in the description if I can remember. If I don't remember, somebody leave me a comment reminding me, and I will, because I can edit that after I upload this. But yeah. They also made a visual novel called Soul of Sovereignty, which isn't free. It's $10, and I don't have any money right now. But I'm super excited to play this one because the art style looks sick. Especially this guy. I think he's a dragon, but he looks amazing. And I love it. And I've seen some pictures of the art style in the actual game, and I've seen a couple of comments talking about it, like on the website, and there's a lot of comments saying how good Chapter 3 was. That's going to be fun. And I've also heard a lot of people talking about how it's absolutely peak. And I like it when things are absolutely peak. So, it's going to be fun. Alright, where to keep up with them? I added this section because I did a whole ton of, like, internet stalking and research to find out, like, where all of their, like, social media and anywhere I can, keep up with them if they ever make more stuff. And I had to know. So, I found it. I found a lot. And I'm here to share. First of all, this, and this are all part of that because of the fact that I didn't know they existed until I went to go do some research. And if you liked the Cucumber Quest, then you'll probably like those too, because it's the same author and the same artist, which are both the same person, named GGDG. Yay. Alright, first of all, they have a website, which is all of their artwork in general, and their works, as in things they've worked on. And I found that website first, and I saw that they were, like, they had Soul of Sovereignty and the Lady of the Shard and Idle Divination, and they had that stuff listed on there, and I was like, wait a damn minute. So I googled those, and I was like, oh, they made more things! So, I'm excited to read that. And they have a whole ton of really cool artwork on there, which I have a little slide of all of my favorites in a little bit. They also have a Blue Sky, which looks like this. I personally don't have Blue Sky, and if I did, I would totally go follow them. I just pulled this off of Google, but I very badly wish I could follow them. But if you have Blue Sky, you should totally go follow them, because they do. And who knows what all they'll post on there. I have no idea. Then, I also feel very accomplished for this one. I found the correct Tumblr. If you Google GGDG and go to their social media, and I think it's even in the Cucumber Quest website too, they have the wrong one listed, and when you go to it, there's a post that's pinned that's like, hey, this is the wrong one, the correct one is here, and then you go and you click on that link, and that's also the wrong one, and then they're like, yeah, I'm not using this one either, the correct one is this one, and then you click on it, and then you get here, and this is the correct Tumblr account. I'm so glad that I found it. This is the hardest piece of information to find on there, and I found it. And I do have Tumblr, though. I don't really use it for YouTubing, but I do have it, and I follow them on there. I think I follow all three, actually, like, just in case, but it's there. and I'm glad that I found it. So if you guys have Tumblr and want to check them out, this is the correct one. Okay. Next up, the art style. Oh my god, I'm an art nerd, right? The art style is precious. I love it so much. So, I wanted to just briefly, or I guess not briefly, but I wanted to talk about it for a little bit before I got into the actual books because of the fact that it's just amazing. So this is my favorite panels, just because I want to show off also the art style and the humor. So, I'm not really going to go into explaining a whole ton of them as to why I like them. There's a few that I want to talk about, but other than that, I'm kind of just going to let you, like, pause the video and look at it real quick. First of all, we have this one of Cake Town, which I want to live in Cake Town. I put this one here. I want to live there so badly. You know that one panel of Bacon trying to eat Princess Parfait's, like, couch or something? I want to do that. I'll live here and eat the furniture. Also, Grizzly Gum, one of the best side characters. Had to mention him. I also put this one in here just because it's my favorite character, and it's a great like introduction to her in general. And I was like, oh, there's a candy princess living in a little food house. Ah! She's my favorite character out of everybody, and I love her so much. So naturally, I put her here. Then of course there's this Nightmare Night one, and all of these Ripple Kingdom related ones. I like Princess Nautilus a lot too, and these crabs are stupid, but I love them. So, that is just a few of them. There's also more! Yay! There's not as much explaining to do with these ones, so I'm just gonna kind of let you guys look at this for a second. That's some kind of theme song from something. I don't know what's happening with my brain right now. Did you like it? Art is good. Yay! Especially this one. This one's my favorite on this page because, again, Princess Parfait. I'm a little biased. We also have this one. More! Yay! I think this one in the middle right here is my favorite because she's just like, I'm so glad I could make a friend. And he's like, a what? He looks so confused but so silly. And then this one's also great because she's trying so hard to make friends and he's just not interested. And I love that dynamic. So there's all of that. I also really like Sir Carrot's glow up in book 4. I don't know what chapter it is for webcomic people, but it's physical book 4. That's how I'm referring to them because I read them in books. I also have all of the books sitting right next to me right now, so if I need to reference something, I can go look it up. But they're there. Amazing. And then there's more! Yay! Just, if you want to read all of them, you can, but if you want to just, like, glance at the art real quick before moving on, that's okay too. Just, pause it, take your time, do whatever, and then come back. Yay, you're back! Woohoo! You definitely paused it and read all of that stuff, and you're not just listening to me ramble, right? Anyway, enough of that. Non-related art they made. They made things that aren't Cucumber Quest. Surprisingly. Wow! And I put some of the artwork on here because they have it listed on their website, and I wanted to just mention it because I think it's cool. Although one of it is related, though. This one of Almond is related. She's a little knight in this one, and I love it. And she looks good in pink, and she looks good with this shield, and I just like her existence in general. We also have this one from Deltarune, I think. Yeah, it's Deltarune. Yay. I like Tenna, physically, like, design-wise anyway. I haven't played Deltarune or Undertale, so I don't know anything about it, other than the fact that the music goes so fucking hard. But I understand why people make fan art of it and why people like it, just because I've heard a lot of great things about it. And I've heard a lot of good things about Tenna and Spamton both, I think. I don't know, Pudding built a pixel art Spamton in our Minecraft world, so I get to see that every time I play it. And then my cousin built a giant Tenna, so I get to just see those all the time now. And those are the only characters I know. Except for the spider lady. I don't remember what her name is or which game she's from, but she's a spider, and she has a song, and it's a good song, and I like the spider. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Anyway. There's also this one of, again, with Tenna and the whole Deltarune thing. I really liked this one too. I think the bright colors on both of those made me happy. Then there's also this one, which I think is not related to anything. They just have it, but I like it. I like it a lot. This seems like the type of thing you would get printed out at a convention and then have a voice actor sign. Like if it's like a character. That's that. There's also this one, which I think is Undertale related, or Deltarune, one of those two. But I don't know anything about this particular character. I just liked the art style and I thought it was really cute. There's also this clown. I like clowns. Clowns are cool. So I saw it and I was like, ooh, clown. And I saved it. And then there's also this bird feather lady thingy. I liked this one as well. I was looking at that one for a hot minute because I was like, ooh, pretty. Alright. That's all of the art I had saved of them. They have a lot more on their website. These are just my particular favorites out of all of them. And I didn't want to take up too much time because I want to leave some for you guys to go explore on your own on the website, which I will be putting in the description along with everything else that I found. Alright, bonus pages. I found things that aren't in the physical books, and I'm very, very excited that they exist. So first of all, there's this other random one from one of the books, and it says, so where does Almond keep her sword, and when she's not using it? She surely didn't leave it in Sir Tomato's face, which is, I'm assuming, related to the first book, and she just kind of shoves it in her pocket somehow. I don't really know how, but she does. Then, Holy Crystal Kingdom. Okay, the fourth physical book ended as soon as they're about to leave the Flower Kingdom and go to the Crystal Kingdom, right? And I thought that's where it ended. I thought that they made that fourth book, they went on hiatus, they did their thing, they haven't actually made anything for the fifth one yet, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, oh man, I'm so upset. Papa, me want more movie, right? And then I went online to do some research, and holy shit, there's more! I haven't read this yet. This little section here has not been read by the Frosting Eyeballs yet. But I want to so badly. It's just, I'm excited. It's just, I don't really have words. I just have sound effects for how excited I am that there's more. But I'm very, very happy that there's more. I'm going to need that in a physical book form, please. I like books, and I like giving you money. GGDG, if you are watching this video, you have it made. It's on there. You just gotta make a cover, some fun Kingdom Tour stuff for the back, and then print it out. And then you could be making money. So you should totally do that. Anyway, speaking of other stuff, they also have title banners, guest strips, and April Fool's stuff, which not a lot of the April Fool's stuff is related. The title pages are pretty silly, and the guest comic strips are also cool, and they are on the website. For official Cucumber Quest, they're under the bonus section. I do have them all in here though, so these are some of the guest comics, and then there's more over here. I've read these, and out of all of them, this one, Cooking with Nightmare Night, this one with the Roselings, and this one with the Dream Oracle and her little, I'm blanking on what her name is, but the green thing. Why am I blanking on her name? Anyway, those are my favorites out of all of them, and I think this one's my least favorite, honestly. I do still like it, I just don't like Splash Monster that much to enjoy it, but, I do like the fact that these exist, and I found them randomly just clicking through the Cucumber Quest to try to find things, and I was like, wait a minute, why does this exist? But there they are, and I really like them, and I'm glad they're there. And you guys should totally go check them out. Alright, there's also more Cucumber Quest stuff that I found on their website, but all of this stuff costs money. This is the pay to continue reading section. They've got the Cucumber Quest retrospectives, which I don't know what that is, but I'm thinking, if I had to guess, just based on the picture of it and the little description, is that it's some kind of more advanced art book. Which, I like art books. I love it when people put concept art in the back of their graphic novels. All 4 Cucumber Quest physical books have that in the back, and I'm very happy about that. And especially the first book, after the Q&A and the character meetings and whatnot, and the tour of Dreamside, being able to just flip through all of this and just see the concept art makes me very, very happy. There's some concept art for Saturday. There's some concept art for Parada or Parado. There's concept art for the little cake houses. Some little scenes. And then there's extra panels in the back, which are like continuations. And there's also little kingdom maps, which they don't have that in the online version. And physically, there's just a little bit of that extra detail that is just very cute. There's also Super Parada, which I don't know what that one is either because the text got cut off in my picture, but I'm interested to read that one too. And then this one entertained me a lot, and I so need to read that. I'm so excited that I'm choking on air, guys. Okay. Anyway, it's called Game Masters, and it's an AU where Noise Master and Rose Master start a Let's Play series. That is just so fucking good. I love that exists so much. And the fact that they're making AUs of their own comic is such a massive power move, and they're charging $3 for it. It's a power move, and I love that for them, and I very badly want to hand them the $3 and my entire life savings in order to read this, and literally anything else they've made ever. The concept of that seems so goddamn funny. I'd also like a cooking show with Sir Nightmare. That'd be cool too. Hello everyone, I'm the Nightmare Knight, and today we're gonna be making macaroons. See, it'd be great. Just big bad evil guy bakes shit. I love that. Alright, now, we're getting into the actual books. Isn't that great? Because of the fact that I've talked about most of everything about the series already without actually mentioning specific books, I'm just gonna have some bullet points about each one that I want to talk about, and then after that, it gets all wrapped up. So, first, we've got Cucumber Quest 1, The Donut Kingdom. I think that this one is a really great introduction to the story, and when I read it, I fell in love with the art style and the characters and the lore immediately, and I wanted to read more. I think as soon as it hit... Ooh, hold on. I think the second that Cucumber leaves and goes to Cake Town, I've been in love with it since. And I love this series so much. And it just got better and better and better as you continue. And it just makes me so happy. And I loved it. There's also a lot of tropes in this series in general, but like specifically this book, that just really excite me. And I really like seeing these tropes in media, and the fact that they're continuing out through this makes me very happy. For example, the main character who doesn't actually want to be a hero, they kind of just get, like, plucked out of the ground and shoved into the battlefield. Like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? I think they do that in Magical Girl animes a lot, too, where it's just, like, a peaceful day, and then somehow, boom, you're a Magical Girl now. And I really like that. And, like, 1 minute you think you have your life planned out like it's regular Tuesday, and then that same Tuesday you get transported to another dimension, or given power beyond your imagination, or summoned for a grand quest. One moment, my mother's texting me. Anyway, I just really like that trope, and I think it's very funny when you get to have moments where the main character's contemplating and talking about not wanting to do this shit, and sometimes you're sitting over there going, me too, man, me too. I really like that. I also really like the, like, Peach and Bowser type dynamic with Princess Parfait and Sir Tomato. Sir Tomato's design, like, character-wise, also just reminds me of Bowser in general. And I like to say that Princess Parfait looks like Princess Peach, but Candyland adopted her. And it makes sense for her character design, but anyway, I like that dynamic of he's into her and trying to, like, get her to be with him, and he's also pretty much her captor, right? And she's just not having his bullshit, and I love that. It's really fun to see. It's very funny to watch, and I don't really like Sir Tomato that much as a character, but those scenes with them two are just really entertaining. I also like sweets themed worlds like Candyland, and in Mario Kart 8, I think it's called Sweet Sweet Canyon. That's my favorite map of all time, and it looks like you could put a Cucumber Quest in that world and it would feel completely natural because it makes sense. And sweets themed stuff is just really cute in general, and I like it. So the fact that all of that is themed around the Donut Kingdom makes me super duper happy. And I think out of all of the kingdoms, I would pick the Donut Kingdom to live in. Either that one or the Flower Kingdom. One of the two. I'd pick that, and I would live there forever. Eating the walls because they're made of food. I also really like the fantasy elements combined with modern humor. Like, the classic hero has to go on a quest to defeat the big bad evil guy and save the world and whatnot. But it's also combined with, like, modern logic and storytelling and plot development that you wouldn't see in one of those classic stories. And just really funny moments that just resonate with me a lot. Alright, book 2. The Ripple Kingdom. The world building is absolutely amazing in this series. I like how you don't spend too much time in one kingdom, but you also spend enough time to make it feel like you fully explored, while also developing your characters and plot. Speaking of character development is really good. I like it. It doesn't feel like the characters just have one personality or shtick that they stick to. They, have different emotions and feelings, and they do their own things, and I really like that. Silly/cute creatures. I also really enjoy those. My examples here are Lapras and the Crab Bros. I like the crabs. The Mafia crabs are the best, and having random creatures run the Mafia is another one of, a really funny story idea, and I really like that, and if we could get more of them to come back, that'd be amazing. I also really like Lapras and the Royal Instrument of Summoning, aka smartphone, and it's just really cool how they do that. I also didn't mention this in the last slide because I didn't... Nope, I'm forgetting to speak English again. Anyway, I ran out of room, so I couldn't mention this in the past slide, but I also really like the reader Q&A, the concept art, and the extra info about each kingdom at the end of every book. And the concept art and the kingdom tours aren't online, they're only in the printed versions. I found this out because I was flipping through it the other day and I was like, wait a minute, how come the concept art isn't on here? And I'll put a little clip of them into editing, but after the reader Q&A, there's little cards of all the characters, there's some concept art, there's a tour of the kingdom, and in the first book there's one page that says, and I quote, I'm reading this from the book right now, "Welcome to Dreamside. Floating somewhere among the stars is a flat little world where dreams come true. Where did it come from? What awaits for its future? Why is the sun a giant smiley face? None of those questions will be answered in this section, but we can take a quick tour. At least. Let's go." And then they've got a little, short section about the Donut Kingdom, the Ripple Kingdom, the Melody Kingdom, the Flower Kingdom, the Crystal Kingdom, the Sky Kingdom, the Space Kingdom, and beyond. And they've all got a cute little symbol by them, and they have, a little thing that just says, residents from this kingdom will have this different shaped ears. For example, Melody Kingdom, residents from that have ears that, fold over in the front, and they're kind of floppy. Meanwhile, Crystal Kingdom's ears are more square, and Flower Kingdoms look like they have little sprouts on the top of them, which is pretty cool, because looking at this section, you can tell which kingdom someone is from without actually having to learn where they're from in the thing because of the ear shape. So, my example of this that I'm going to be using is, wait for it, I need to find a picture of Peridot. You can tell that Saturday's butler in book 1, I didn't really know how to pronounce his name, you can tell that he's from the Flower Kingdom because his little ears do the sprouty thing at the top, even before it's revealed that he's actually from the Flower Kingdom. Or, see, I need to find a picture of Peridot. Okay, I need to find a full picture of Peridot because I'm not finding it right now. Wait for it. Yeah, you can tell that Peridot is clearly from the Crystal Kingdom because her ears are a square. You just gotta look a little closer at it and you can see all of that cool stuff. And it's just another layer of the character development and the art style that makes me super happy. And the fact that it's not in the digital version means that the people who didn't read it physically kind of get to, like, they miss out on that. But I guess it's also just an added benefit of reading the physical books in the first place. It's like, you buy the book, you spend the money, you get this extra benefit that online doesn't have. But then online also has stuff that the physical versions don't have, like the guest strips and the whole extra fucking chapter and a whole ton of stuff like that. Alright, I'm rambling too much. Buy the physical books and read it online, both. That's what I recommend. You do both. Read it, and if you like it, spend the money. It's worth it, I promise. They're not that expensive on Amazon either. I think they're less than $20 a piece, which isn't bad. Alright, the Melody Kingdom! I really like the vivid colors and the slight art style changes that are done to match certain characters. Like, Noisemaster is my favorite example, but there's also the other one, which I have no idea how to pronounce either of those names, which is the only downside about reading graphic novels when they're not, like, voiced over, is that you don't know how to pronounce the names correctly. My most irritating one is that Peridot is not her name, it's Peridot or Peridot, and I can't figure out which one it is. I think Peridot would make sense if she was from the Donut Kingdom, and she's sweets themed. That would make sense because it's Peridot, but she's from the Crystal Kingdom, which is why I'm thinking it's not that. And I think Peridot makes more sense because if you say the word Peridot and then just take the T out, it's Peridot, right? That makes sense in my head, and that's what I've been calling her. And I really hope that's not the wrong way to pronounce that. And I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But I'll never know unless we get actual, like, confirmation from GGGG, which I don't know if we will. Anyway, Noisemaster. The difference in art style between books 1 and 2 versus book 3 is very exciting. And the fact that certain characters just get their own art style, like, Noisemaster has a lot of, like, bright and vivid colors, and he just changes, he goes away from, like, the cuter, like, pastel colors and browns that the Cucumber Quest actually has, and he puts this, like, black with bright colors added to it. And even just in the book covers in general, like, book 1 is this really bright and happy yellow, and then book 2 is this really pretty blue, and then book 3 is this dark colored book with all of these super bright colors on it, and then book 4 you go back to being pastel and cute, except for right here, but that's another story. I like it when shows change up their art style to match certain characters. It's just really cool. Well-developed and interesting lore combined with humor is making these books absolutely iconic. And the fact that the lore is so well-developed and is going to continue being developed in the Crystal Kingdom when I get to read that eventually, because some of us are busy. Or if, they continue making even more of it after that. The lore is so well-developed, but these books are also just so fucking funny. You could just pick a random book, which I'll pick the Melody Kingdom since we're on that one. You could just flip open to a random page, and I bet something on that page would be funny. Like, the particular page I flipped to is page 116, and I just got a random cute little page of Bacon on here, being absolutely silly. And I also opened to one of my favorite pages, just in general. Hold on, where'd it go? The panel I opened to is this little thing right here, just of Noisemaster's little house. The fact that I just opened to that makes me very happy. Without even trying to. Let's do that again, actually. See, I opened to another random page, and, we get more humor and funniness. I think this time I flipped to page 124 and 5. And it's just so cool. And this whole And then back to the art style changing thing, there's also the introduction of Glitchmaster and the pixel art style that gets introduced, which it ties in with Noisemaster a little bit because of the bright colors with the black, but it also is so, like, pixelated and glitchy. Well, I mean, it's Glitchmaster. Of course it's going to be glitchy. What the fuck are you talking about, Frosting? Anyway, it's just another art style change that makes these books so interesting. So, like, more characters get their own, like, way of doing things, and I really like that. I also love princesses. So the fact that there are 3 princesses that we know exist, well, as of the Melody Kingdom anyway, there's 4. And then if the Crystal Kingdom has one, which I know they do because all of the kingdoms do, but there's 4 to 5 princesses that exist in these books. And I'm excited again, and when I get excited, I can't talk straight. Anyway, can't talk straight? What is happening to my brain right now? Ignore that. Okay. Anyway, I love princesses. So the fact that there's a whole comic book series around finding different princesses in different kingdoms and getting them to sign your cool sword is amazing. And I love it. And princess is one of my types, actually. I think I've said hear me out to Princess Parfait before in my hear me out videos. And I will continue to say it because she's a massive hear me out. Think, hear me out on Princess Melody too. Anyway, I love them. While we're on the subject of hear me outs, though, this one might be a little controversial, but hear me out on the Nightmare Knight. Ayo! I think he's just really cool, like, art style wise, and I like him. So, yeah. Anyways, princesses are good, and the fact that these books have princesses in them make me very happy. I love princesses. Speaking of princesses, 4th book. Woo! Okay, this one might sound controversial right off the top of our head here, but let me explain. My first bullet point on here is that the LGBTQ being present without being the only focus, and my example is that the 2 kingdoms from the Flower Kingdom. The 2 kings in that kingdom, and Peridot having a crush on Almond. And I want to say that, like, I am personally a part of the LGBTQ, which is why I feel like I can talk about this without it coming off too controversial. But in my opinion, it's completely normal and should be normal to have LGBTQ characters existing in media without making them the center of attention all the time. Like, if you want to make, like, a Yuri or a Yaoi, or if you just want to make an LGBTQ-focused story, then you can do that. That's fully okay. I love it when people do that. I think, I'm trying to think of a good example of a Yaoi off the top of my... She-Ra and the Princess of Power. That's the example we're going to go with. I love that show. And the fact that there's a whole ton of LGBTQ representation, but it doesn't add or subtract... Well, okay, it definitely adds to it, but it doesn't subtract anything from the lore or the character development. It's there, and it's present, and it's absolutely beautiful. Or the Owl House. Luz and Amity are gay, and it's the best ship in all of cartoon history. Right? One of them, anyway. And the fact that you can have an absolutely amazing show and have all of this, like, character development and lore and plot and all of these amazing things surrounding it, and also have the LGBTQ in it, without it having to be this big old controversial event. I've heard of and seen a lot of shows where they try to make it seem like a really, really big deal that they have gay people in it. And I'm like, okay, can you chill? Right? I feel like it's normal and it should be accepted to just have these characters in these shows without pushing it. You know, like, they're there, they're present, they are fully allowed to be here. I just don't want it shoved in my face all the time, like, hey, look, I'm gay, hey! You know, it's not always necessary to shove it down people's throats. And I believe that with any belief and ideology also, like, especially with, like, politics and Christianity and any just religion in general. Like, let people believe what they want to believe. Let people consume the media that they want to consume without trying to shove things down people's throat. It's just not necessary. And I really love how this book series is doing that. Like, they have LGBTQ representation, they have the characters that they need to. The author themselves uses they, them pronouns, and is, I'm gonna guess, non-binary, but I have no idea. And probably another form of LGBTQ also. I know that I'm not just one thing, I've got like 4 different labels going on here. Anyway, it's just, I like the fact that it's there, but they're not yelling at you. Like, hey, look, gay people. They're just saying, hey, look, aren't these people cool? And you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then that's that. You don't gotta shove it, they're just there. And I really appreciate that. And, I like that a lot. And my example slides of this are being these 2 from the Flower Kingdom and this. Peridot having a crush on Almond is absolutely adorable, and I love it. And these 2, they're just there. They're being fully represented, and they're just happily being themselves without, like, shoving it down anyone's throat or yelling at anybody. And I really like that, and I really appreciate that. And I want to see more of that in media. You know, just if you want to put an LGBTQ character in your thing, just let them exist and let them be gay. You don't gotta, like, way too many studios and stuff make really big deals out of it, and it's just not necessary. And so I really like the way these books are doing that. And I also just really like representation in general. Like, it doesn't matter what you're representing, whether it's someone with a disability or any kind of, like, physical diagnosis or mental, I don't want to say disorder, that's not the right word, neurodivergent people. We'll call it that because I don't know what the right word is for it. Anything under that umbrella, anything like LGBTQ wise, anything non-neurotypical, non-stereotypical, also, just anything like that, representing different cultures from other countries and things like that you've probably never heard of. You know, I like representation, and the fact that, again, you should be able to just do that without having to yell at people that you're doing it. I think Monster High is another really good example of doing that, is that they have characters who are representing all of these things, especially in G3 now. I think they did it in G1 too, but G3 it's like more pronounced, is that like they're representing things without screaming it at you. Like Twyla just casually mentioning that she's autistic in one episode and not like pushing it on people. She just says, hey, I'm autistic, turn the volume down please, and that's that. And I'll have to see if I can, I don't want to put that clip in there because I'll probably get smited by Nickelodeon, but I like that clip. Or the fact that Cleo and Frankie have a crush on each other and they're just there, existing. Anyway, I'm going to quit rambling before I make this video too long. Hey guys, Editing Frosting here. I just wanted to interrupt myself really quickly because I need to make fun of myself. I just said, and I quote, I'm going to stop rambling now so that this video doesn't get too long. And then I looked at the timestamp after recording this video and realized that somehow I talked about this silly graphic novel series for a whole hour! How did I do that? Why on earth is it an hour long? But, on to my other points. The power of true love is adorable. I'm talking about the part here where Sir Carrot gets like a massive glow up because of the pretty necklaces he has with Princess Parfait, and the fact that he's using the strength of their love for each other to get massive superpowers and beat up Rosemaster. It's just really cute, and I love stories like that. I think true love does truly save the day, you know. Oh wow, Twilight Sparkle, you really did teach us that friendship is magic. You know, shit like that. It's great. And I know it seems a little childish to just believe that, oh, you know, the answer to everything is love. Because the answer to everything definitely isn't love. But there are situations where the answer to everything is love. And it's necessary to put that in there. And I really like it. There's also the idea, I guess just in this whole book series, but mostly explored in book 4, where we're talking about the idea that you don't have to be what people say you are. Like Sir Nightmare Knight, for example. I think Sir Nightmare Knight, whatever the hell you want to call him, he's supposed to be the big bad evil guy who's, gonna take over the world and rule everybody, and he has the disaster masters, and he's all grr, right? But, he just casually bakes shit in people's kitchen and saves princesses from annoying tomato people, and, watches TV with Peridot like it's nobody's business. He's just chill. And I like the idea that, like, just because the world thinks of you one way doesn't mean you actually have to be that way. And that's not an idea that gets explored in media very often from what I've seen. And the fact that they have a whole, like, character for that makes me extremely, like, interested to see where this lore is going next. I think, just the fact that, like, some of the disaster masters might want to be evil, but some of them don't. Some of them might, like, realize what's going on, like the Nightmare Knights attempting to do better. That character development is going to be super interesting to see throughout this story, and I want more of it because I'm loving where it's going so far, and I think it's very interesting. There's also so much lore in this book, with the whole, like, Glitchmaster showing up and fully being present in this one, and the Nightmare Knight, like, actually sabotaging the villains so that they can continue the cycle and not fully ruin everything. And, the lore of, I think they were talking about, like, the secret monster, or, like, the Forsaken Master or something. That's going to be really interesting to figure out more of. There's just so much lore. And I like books that are lore heavy because I want to read the lore. But it's also not just lore in this book series either. You also get the art style and the humor and everything else that I've mentioned previously combined with fantastic lore. And I'm so excited to see more of that. That's pretty much it I had for book 3. And now we get to the interesting part, which there's a lot of them, so buckle up. Character ranking. I saved this for the very end because I didn't want to do it first. Or, like, in the middle of talking about stuff and get me distracted. But the character ranking. There are a lot of characters, so I'm gonna speed run through a couple of them. And I have one already on there without having to explain because, as I've mentioned before, Princess Parfait is my favorite character. So naturally, she's going to be the very first one in S tier. I put her in there when I was making this slideshow because I was thinking to myself, I don't need to explain myself on this one. She's my favorite. Fuck you, chat. So there she is. She's just up there. And there's a whole bunch of other characters. I even included the sun. I found all of these pictures because Cucumber Quest has a wiki fandom, and there's a character list, and there's a couple I didn't include because they were, like, random background characters with, like, one line, but everyone important has been included. So let's do this. First, just to get her out of the way since she's here, the sun. I do like that the sun is a giant smiley face. It's just not, she's not, like, the best character. I definitely wouldn't put her up here. But she doesn't really deserve D tier either. She's just gonna chill over here. I don't know. I want more development of the sun. Does the moon also have a giant smiley face? Is the moon like a planet? Is that where the Space Kingdom's at? What's going on with the moon? That'd be cool. Alright, let's grab another one. Noisemaster! S tier. Do I even need to explain myself on this one? The character design is fantastic. I had a whole section talking about how I liked the color changes and the way he did things. And the very distinct personalities between all of the Disaster Masters are just amazing. And I just really like him. Except, I feel bad for Princess Parfait that she has to sit next to that, but she'll be fine, right? She's got true love powers, and he's in a little ball thing now. He'll be fine. Anyway, I really like him. And the fact that he's up there just existing is awesome. And while I'm mentioning Noisemaster, I'd really like to see someone cosplay as him. Like the giant speaker head thing would be really cool. And like the weird cape would be interesting. And just the way that his outfit is designed in general would be awesome for a cosplay. You know, giant boots, cool gloves, big eyeball, pair of headphones, you know. There's a lot of elements to his design that would be amazing to see in, like, physical cosplay form, and it would be a ton of fun. Speaking of cosplay, I think someone would really want to cosplay Rosemaster. I feel like her outfit would be easy enough to cosplay, and having a wig made of giant roses would be really cool. I'm also going to put her in B tier, just because she's not my favorite character, and I do like her. She's just not my favorite, so we're putting her down there. Alright, let's see. Let's grab this crab and the gardener both while we're here, because I have very different rankings for both of them. First of all, the realistic bunny thing needs to fuck off. I don't like the fact that existed, and that, the first time I read that, I was so surprised that they put a photorealistic bunny in there. It's just not necessary. Like, who hurt you? So he's going down there now. Crabs, however, are going in A tier. They're definitely not, like, my favorite characters ever, but I did really enjoy them in book 2, and I very badly want to see more of them, or other Mafia-related creatures. Like, the Roselings from book 4 join the Mafia. That'd be really funny. Somebody needs to draw that. Alright. We're also gonna go ahead and just grab Almond while we're here, because I don't want to, like, run out of room for her. So we're just gonna grab Almond, put her up there. We're also gonna grab Boop and Boop. 2 more princesses! Yay! As I've mentioned before, I really like princesses. So, oh wait, we're also just gonna grab this other princess too. We're gonna just put all of the princesses right up there in the S tier where they belong, because princesses are amazing. Also, this picture of her isn't really great. This is, like, the only one I could find for the princess from the Flower Kingdom, but I do really like that she exists, so, you know. Would you move, please, image? Thank you. Google Slides is annoying. Alright, there's that. Boom. I hate to, like, speed run through the character ranking, but there's so many, and I've already been filming for what feels like forever, and I don't want this to drag on and, you know, never stop, so we're kind of speeding through, but that's okay. Sir Carrot, S tier. Do I even need to explain myself? Actually, hold on. Noisemaster, I'm going to move you over a little bit so that you can chill next to your wife, girlfriend, whatever. There. These two need to be together, so they're going to hang out up there. And then you can go hang out with the other princess. You'll be fine. Also, Princess Melody's got, like, a buffer between her, so she doesn't have to be traumatized again, but there we go. Okay, Sir Tomato. While we're on the subject of, food people, down here you go. You're like, bye-bye. Nobody likes you, fuck you. Character design, love him. Personality, hate him. So much. Like, jump off a cliff, please. Alright, Lapras. We're gonna put Lapras in A tier. I like Lapras. I feel like she needs more screen time, though. Screen time. What is this, an anime? That'd be really cool if this was an animated thing, though. Or even if just somebody, like, got a bunch of voice actors together and just sat there reading it, that'd be really cool, too. Okay. What is you? Ah, yes, the Dream Oracle. I like the Dream Oracle. I do think she's very funny. She's just not, like, my favorite character. So, she's gonna come over here to B tier, just because I know we can do better. We're also gonna grab this. I'm blanking on her name. I've been blanking on her name the entire 3 attempts at filming this video, and I don't know why I keep forgetting her name. I know it starts with a C, but I'm blanking. I'm also putting her in A tier, because she's absolutely adorable, and I would like a plushie of her. Is it Champagne? Chardonnay! Her name is Chardonnay! I got it! Finally! The world is better now. It's not great. Society sucks, but the world is better now. And there she is. Chardonnay. Woohoo! I'm so glad I remembered that. Alright, we're also gonna grab you. Because you're an S tier character, no doubt. I love Peridot. I like her design. I like the humor around her. I like the fact that she exists. She just gets to go chill right up there. Wait, boop. There we go. If I run out of room, I'll overlap them. Or I'll just move this over. Like so. But yeah. Alright. What are you? Oh, good. I didn't mean to elongate her like that. We're gonna grab these two. You know, because family. Alright. Both of these, they're husband and wife. So naturally, I should put them in the same spot, right? I don't really have thoughts on these ones, honestly. They're just kind of there. I did like King Kelp. I found him pretty funny. But I'm going to just stick them both in C tier. Because they're not bad enough to be in D. But I don't like them nearly as much as I do Rose Master and the Dream Oracle. So they're going in C tier. Now, back to S tier. Grizzly Gum. I love him so much. We're going to stick him right in this little spot there. Oh, hold on. There. We're sticking him in there because I'm out of room. So there he goes. I like Grizzly Gum a lot. He's a very silly little bear guy. And I'd like him to get some more attention. Or even like a little like extra comic panel about him would be cool. What are you? Ah, yes, Cosmo, you son of a bitch. D tier. Goodbye. I don't like Cosmo. I know that you're like not supposed to because he's evil, but I don't like him. I genuinely like was not at all looking forward to seeing him in the book, and whenever he comes back, and I think it's book 3 or 4, I'm like, oh great, what are you doing here? So he gets to go down there now. Sorry, not sorry. Alright, speaking of D tier characters, we're also going to do Queen Symbol. I know this might sound weird. I just really don't like her face. I'm sorry, I just don't. The giant symbol head is not doing it for me, so she's going to go down there now. We're also going to put Splashmaster down there, just because I hate him. The other ones are designed better than he is, and he looks really, really stupid. Like, he is stupid, and he has, like, 0 brain cells. I think he's got, like, a hamster up there, right? And the hamster's spinning, but the hamster is on its little wheel, and it's spinning, but the hamster is dead. So he's got no brain cells. His train of thought derailed entirely and fell off the tracks like you're in Mario Kart. He's a dumbass. And he is funny, but I just don't like him. So down there he goes. The Nightmare Knight. S tier. S tier. Do I even need to explain myself on this one? He's the fucking Nightmare Knight. I feel like he'd have my head if I didn't put him in S tier. So there you go. He gets to go up there. And I like the fact that he exists. His character design's really cool. I just got through talking about him a whole bunch in this slide. So, there he is. Alright, we're also going to do Glitchmaster while he's here. What is happening right now? Okay, there we go. We're also going to do Glitchmaster while we're here, just because I don't really know where to put him. He seems interesting, I just don't like him as much as a lot of other characters. So we're putting him in C tier. Although it would be very entertaining to have a pillow of him, because he's just a circle. Alright, Cucumber! We're putting you in S tier. Again, Almond wouldn't be very happy with me if I put you any lower than that, so you get to go up there now. And speaking of, let's do... Hold on. Where did she go? She's up here. Oh, gosh. Hold on. Let's do the parents while we're up here. Yay. Mom goes in C tier. Dad goes in B tier. He's not the best character, but he's just genuinely funny. And I like the character design, and I find it very entertaining when he's in the books. So, there's that. And then the mom's just, I don't know. I don't really have thoughts. I don't hate her or anything. I just don't have opinions. So there she goes. Let's do you. I'm blanking on your name, but something of justice. I just really don't like him that much. I don't know. He seems like out of all of the Cucumber Quest characters, he's the one that seems the most forgettable, in my opinion, which is saying a lot considering how bold he is with his personality. He's just not my favorite character, and he's okay. He's just, I don't know. He just doesn't get to go there. You, however, are not forgettable. You're, like, second place to Big Bad Evil Guy. But, oh, why does that keep happening? I'm gonna put her an A, actually. I do really like her character design, and I do think she's a very cool, just, concept in general. And, I do like her. I just don't like her, like, because she's evil. But design-wise and personality and stuff, she's genuinely entertaining to see on the thing. And I think just her relationship with Peridot and the Nightmare Knight is also interesting to see and explore. So she gets to go there. Okay, what are you? Bacon. I'm putting you right down there with your man. Or with your boss or whatever. You get to go down there. You just... I don't really have thoughts on Bacon. He's just kind of there. He's kind of silly, but just not my favorite. Actually, he doesn't deserve B tier or D tier. That feels mean. You can go up there to C. These two, however, are going into A tier though, just because I don't remember their names. But these two are going up there. Personally, I ship them. I don't know. I think if anybody's gonna be cute little lesbians in this book, it's gonna be them two, because just imagine how cute it would be if cute little lesbians opened a bakery. I just think it's really cute. So, you know. There they go. I'm officially out of tea. This is a crime. Alright. Hello. You're gonna go down here now. I just... Nope, would you quit doing that? Boop. There. He goes down there. Do I need to explain myself on this one? One, he looked better with the contact lens thingy in. And two, I just don't like him that much, like, in general. It's just, I don't know. Alright. Let me see what else we're working with here. There ain't no way that that's it, right? Is that it, really? Alright, anyway. Dame Lettuce. I'm also gonna put her with Bacon in C tier. She doesn't deserve D tier. She's just there. And, I feel like she deserves better than Sir Tomato. I don't know why she's, like, trying to get with him, but she deserves better. Speaking of the BLT trio, we also have Blueberry, which was Bacon's, like, temporary replacement. I just put him in there because I found his character design cool. I don't really have thoughts on him, though, so he's just gonna go up here, because you could have the bubble, Bacon, Blueberry, Lettuce. That's the new trio we're making now. Yep, there they go. Alright. Oh, wait, there are more. There's that guy. Alright. This crab. A tier. I genuinely enjoyed the crab, and the SpongeBob reference was funny, and the fact that there's a giant crab that's friends with Princess Nautilus is just genuinely interesting. So he gets to go up there now. Mute Master. I'll put it in B tier. I like the general design of him, so he gets to go there now. King Sunflower and King Aster. No, that's not your name. Is that your name? Is it King Aster? Hang on, we gotta look at the reference. King Sunflower, King Aster. Yes, it is King Aster. I knew my names. Okay. I genuinely enjoy both of their character designs very much, and, you know, gay people representation. Yay. So you get to go in there. Ta-da! And now we've only got a couple left. We have Princess Melody's dad, or Melody Princess Dad's, I don't remember. Princess Piano, that's her name. Anyway, her dad is also just going to come down here. I don't really have thoughts, and his design's kind of mid, honestly. But he gets to go down there now. The rightful king of the Donut Kingdom, however, is going to go right up here in B tier. I think his design is funny. And, you know, I feel bad that Princess Parfait's dad is in jail and crystallized. Meaning that last up, we have, I think his name's Mr. R. Hold on. Book time. Mr. R, yep. That is his name. He's also Saturday's butler. They're both the same person, which is weird in my opinion. I didn't really like that much. Like, and also, is Saturday also Princess Azalea? Because, like, it makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense. And I don't know. What does she need to do crime for if she's a princess? I don't get it. I don't know. Anyway, we're also just going to kind of put him down here in C tier. I don't really have thoughts. He's just kind of there. I liked the butler version of him more than the Mr. R version, though. I think the non-verbal butler was sick. I feel like separate characters would have been interesting too, but I don't know. Anyway, that is my completed character ranking. And the video is completed. Woohoo! I hope that you guys all enjoyed this, and I hope that you guys get to go read these books at some point. And I hope that all of you liked everything I had to say and agree with me on some points. And, you know, I'm also just hoping that making this video just kind of expands the fandom a little bit, because there's not a lot of stuff on YouTube about the Cucumber Quest, and anything that is there is random comic dubs of it, which, glad that the comic dubs exist, you know, do the voice acting, you know, do the thing, everybody. There's just not enough people talking about this, and I felt like I needed to share, especially since I'm kind of hyperfixating over it right now. So, you know, there is that. Alright, thank you guys for watching this video so much, and thank you once again to GGDG, there we go, for making this comic book series, and essentially changing my life, because I would not be here filming this today, and I would not be hyperfixating over these books right now if it weren't for you and your existence. So, thank you for being alive. Thank you for breathing, I guess. You know, do the thing. And I really hope that at some point they come back to Cucumber Quest. I think they mentioned on their Tumblr that they just kind of put it in hiatus and haven't really come back to it. And I really hope that they come back one day, because I'm interested in finding out more about the lore, the kingdoms, the characters, getting new characters, you know, developing our existing ones, learning more about the Nightmare Knight and the other disaster masters. I keep messing that one up too. And I also want to go read their other stuff, and hopefully they make even more comic books and art things, and you know, eventually I will be giving them my money and my soul when I go to purchase all of the stuff they have for sale right now. And yeah, overall, I just hope that all of you are having a good day or night or whatever time it is that you're watching this, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everyone!